All right, welcome to the Pig and Pickle Krug Show, and Larry Krueger with you, talking a little bit about the upcoming NFL draft. Draft's still a ways off. We're only looking at late February, and the draft is not till late April. But interesting report today that I read from Justin Mello, who says that the 49ers met with the Utah linebacker Mohamoud Diabate at the East-West Shrine game earlier this year. Now, Diabate is an interesting guy. He was a 2-year starter at Florida, just a physical specimen, really. And in he this guy lays big hits coming downhill in the run game and moves like a gazelle. I mean, he's truly athletic. He was well coached. Utah's linebacker coach is Colton Swan, and Swan is considered one of the best in the business. And this kid Diabate has got pass rush ability. His coverage skills are need a little something to be desired, but the athletic ability is clearly there. Now, where's the need? The 49ers are probably going to lose Azeez Al-Shaair in free agency. And they're gonna and they've done a really nice job at finding, Azeez was an undrafted free agent. Marcelino McCrary Ball was an undrafted free agent. Fred Warner was a day 2 pick. Dre Greenlaw was a day 3 pick. The 49ers have done an incredible job at finding really athletic linebackers who can run. Now, they've got a type. They like undersized guys who can really, really run. I mean, if you're a 4'7" linebacker, you need not apply for the job, because the Niners are looking at guys who run 4'5" or faster at linebacker. And this is starting to become somewhat of a league-wide trend. Dre Greenlaw, 4'5" speed. Fred Warner played kind of a hybrid safety linebacker position at BYU. Very, very fast. 4'5" speed. Azeez Al-Shaair, 4'5" speed. Marcelino McCrary Ball, 4'5" speed. Heck, the Niners had a San Diego State linebacker in camp last summer, Sagoon Alubi. Alubi was clocked at 4'49", 4'48", 4'49" in that territory coming out of San Diego State. So it used to be the linebackers in the NFL were like Matt Millen, right? They had the big neck roll, and they were 260, and they took on guards, and it was just battle royale. Now, I think the 49ers preference is to go with a big interior defensive lineman like a Kinlaw, like an Armstead, and they may have to upgrade in that area as well, after the way Kinlaw played against Philadelphia. But their philosophy is get those big two-gappers up front to protect the linebackers, keep the bodies off the linebackers, allow your linebackers to flow to the ball carrier to make plays in space against athletes, sideline to sideline, or at the point of attack between the tackles. So I think this is an interesting guy, Mohamoud Diabate. He went to Auburn High School and in Alabama, and was rated a 4-star recruit. And this is a highly recruited kid out of high school. And he joined Florida after being heavily recruited. And then 2019, as a freshman, he played in 11 games, and he played in 193 total snaps for the Gators, 9 tackles, 2 assists. He added 10 stops. As a pass rusher, he had 21 pressures, 15 quarterback hurries, and 4 sacks. So that was his freshman year. Sophomore year for the Gators in 2020, he played in 12 games, played 440 snaps, had 2 sacks, 13 pressures. But in coverage, he really struggled. In fact, the quarterback rating when targeting him in coverage as a sophomore was a 111.7. So he was picked on a little bit in coverage, but man, the guy can give you an awful lot as a rusher, and he's got a ton of speed. Now, 2021 was his junior year. He played in 12 games for the Gators. Again, struggled in coverage. Quarterbacks had a 113.8 passer rating when they were targeting Diabate. And then after that 2021 season, his junior year, he transferred from Florida to go play in the Pac-12 for the Utah Utes, and that's where he played his final year. He played 11 games this last year with the Utes, 523 total snaps. So he played a full season. He had 33 tackles, 11 assists, 27 stops overall. In pass coverage, he had no pass breakups, no picks, and the quarterbacks, when targeting him, had a 111.2 quarterback rating. So again, he kind of struggled in pass coverage, but as a pass rusher, he was phenomenal. 24 pressures, 15 quarterback hurries, 7 sacks on the year. So, really, really talented player in college who, went to Florida, played 3 years there, transferred to Utah. And, what I like about him, he's really, really smart kid. His dad is a college professor. He's really, really bright. And then football is important to him. I mean, he's a guy who clearly shows up and plays a lot of games, plays hurt. Now he doesn't have the ideal build for a stack backer. He's a little on the tall side, kind of narrow shoulders, a little bit more finesse than power. Sometimes he struggles to slip blocks and he gets pinned on blocks and he has a hard time coming off blocks. But good collegiate production, not great production, but good collegiate production. And really what you like about him is he's a physical specimen. I mean, he's 6'4". As I said, he doesn't run, he doesn't he's not 250, 255, he's 220. He's 6'4", but 220 pounds, 225 pounds in that range. So, he's got that that light body who can move fast. He absolutely moves incredibly well. What I really like about him is I think he's got a lot of potential as like a delayed blitzer. I mean, think of Bobby Wagner, the way he would just shoot gaps when he saw the opening. And Seattle just time and time again had Wagner shooting through the A gaps. And he really helped Seattle as a run defender on first and second down, but he also really gave them quite a bit as a pass rusher. And some of these delayed rushes from Wagner have just been absolutely lethal. And I see the same kind of thing in Mohamoud Diabate. He's a little tall and a little he's not the kind of guy he can run clearly, but I mean you're good. There's gonna be times where he gets stuck on blocks. I'm probably thinking he's going to be a day 3 pick, but man, the combination of the production, the athleticism, the pass rush ability to help you, as a delayed blitzer, well coached at Utah, played against top level competition for 3 years with the Florida Gators. I think Mohamoud Diabate is somebody to watch. And the fact that the Niners met with him at the East West Shrine Bowl, according to Justin Mello, makes me think they may have a little interest in him. The one thing about the 49ers is I don't think linebacker is going to be a day 1 or day 2 need. They don't even have a day 1 pick. They only have late picks on day 3. They pick around, right around 100. But the good news here is I think Diabate is going to be more like a day 3 prospect. I think you're looking at a 5th round, 6th round, maybe even a final round kind of a player. And you're looking at a player who runs well, scheme versatile, can give you a little bit something as a delayed blitzer. They've got to work on his pass coverage ability. He's not the most natural guy in coverage. He's got enough speed to play man, but as far as his feel in zone, you don't see him closing with authority on in zone coverage. But I think there's there's some coaching I think that needs to be done there, and there's some development that has to come to this kid's game. But Mohamoud Diabate, he wore number 11 if you check him out on film. And if you see him on film, he looks really tall and angular, and you see him in his linebacker stance pre-snap, and you're thinking, wow, this guy's really leggy and long. And then, though, he flashes that speed. He's got great pursuit speed. I actually think he's stronger on runs away from him than on runs, to him. He's not the strongest player at the point of attack, but man, as far as pursuit ability, if you're looking for somebody who can get out and run and really pursue ball carriers, this guy closes a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. So just the assumption here is that the Niners are going to lose Azeez Al-Shaair in free agency. I think it's a very good chance he joins DeMeco Ryans in Houston and moves on in free agency. And then what are the Niners going to do? Now, the Niners play a lot of like a 5-2, a 5-2-4 where, they're playing two stack backers. And so they've got Warner and Greenlaw. I expect Marcelino McCrary-Ball to step up into that role this year and play a number of snaps from scrimmage and really be effective. I think Marcelino McCrary-Ball is really a good young player to watch. But it would be nice on day 3 if the 49ers could land maybe even after the draft or on day 3 of the draft, some fast, undersized, athletic linebackers that they can add to their mix, they can have in Santa Clara this summer, and who can compete for maybe one spot on the roster. And Mohamoud Diabate definitely fills the bill. So remember that name, Mohamoud Diabate. Played his final year with Utah. You may see some of his early film where he played with the Florida Gators. I think he's a day 3 pick of interest for the 49ers. And the fact that they met with him in the East-West Shrine Week practices may indicate that they have some interest there. So good reporting by Justin Mello. And remember that name on day 3 of the NFL draft, Mohamoud Diabate.